Hello everyone, welcome back. JavaMentor.net here. In today's video, let's learn how to wire beans conditionally. So what's the point here? Let's go to our Spring configuration where we defined our REST client. So what I wanted to say is, hey, please include this bean in our Spring context, but only under some condition. Under condition that REST client.enable is equals to true inside our properties, inside our Spring properties. So inside application properties, I said REST client.enabled equals to true. But only if this is the case, only if in that condition include this in Spring context. Otherwise, don't include it, please. So let's try to start our application to see, do we have REST client in our context? Okay, our application started. Let's go to the Postman, send, and we are inside the controller. If we take a look here in the REST client, while we have some instance, it's not none. So it's properly included into the Spring context and properly included here as a dependency. Now let's change here to false to see what will happen. Now we will have a problem during the initialization of our Java Spring application, because this Spring wiring, creating beans, injecting dependencies, and so on, is happening when our application start up, not later, but on application start. And we have an error which is saying parameter 1 of constructor book controller requires a bean of type REST client that could not be found. So Spring cannot find bean of this type because this is not in the Spring context. And it's not in the context because this condition is not satisfied. So two very important things to remember. First of all, bean creation and wiring of the beans and injecting dependencies in beans, that's happening on application start time, not later. I mean, there are some ways to mark beans as lazy and they will be created when you need them, but that's not the default behavior. Default behavior is you wire beans on application startup. The second thing is you can wire your application conditionally. So create a bean only under some condition. Now I showed you conditional creation of beans based on property, but there are plenty of conditions that you can use. For example, you can only create your bean only under condition that you have some class on your class path. Or maybe you can create some bean only if some class is missing from the class path. Or you can create your Spring bean only if some other Spring is present in your Spring context, or if bean is missing. There are even very interesting conditions here, like conditional on Java. Only if your Java is older than this version, then create this bean, or equal or newer of this version. For example, conditional on cloud platform. So only if you are running your code on Kubernetes, or only if you run your code on Azure Cloud, then this bean needs to be configured, and so on and so on. You can even create your own conditions, but that's really not the topic of this particular video. The important thing is to remember that you can create your context conditionally. And that's everything about this video. Spring Boot is really using these conditional annotations extensively in Spring Boot. That's very interesting topic to explore, but it's not aimed to beginners, so I will skip it for now. You learned enough for this video. See you in the next one.